invest more time and they have more energy for this, for the speaker or for the facilitator. So that is why I am in a dilemma always, that what to do and where to put my focus. But anyway, I will try to keep the balance. Okay. So today's session is about the inventory. How many of you have already done your inventory, faculty, please? Is there any faculty member who has done? Okay.
Online, please raise your hand. I see Tazeen. I don't know how many in person have done it. I don't see any hands.
This one, it was sent to you.
For all the participants who registered, this was sent to them.
Okay. So still we are giving to you 5 to 7 minutes. Please go through it. And those who are online, they have the soft copy. Please first do it, and then I will start. Otherwise, I won't start.
Gohar, will you please put the link of the inventory here?
I just did.
Okay. I don't see it actually.
I'll share it again.
On the chat.
Email.
No, can you do it in the chat? You have sent it in the email. Can you put the link in the chat?
I did it in chat. I'll redo it.
Auntie, I don't see it better.
There you go.
Is it to everyone? 2 participants raised their hand. Is there a Tazeen? You have done it, and Sidra, you have done it. But I still don't see it in the chat. I'm so sorry. Yeah, now I do. Thank you, Gohar.
All the participants must do it now.
So we'll give them 5 minutes. It is 1:07. So we'll by 1:12, you want us to restart, right?
Till 1:15.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, you can take tea as well.
Yes. The faculty inventory actually starts at page 3. Before that, you have a brief write-up about the 7 principles, so you are clear what they are before you respond to the statements below in the inventory list. This was a kind of a home task, and if you expect your students to do home tasks, there goes the effort. So I guess that's the way it goes. Rubab, keep it with you. The inventory was not to be emailed back. It is for your own benefit, because we will have a brief discussion about it. So have it in front of you.
We have 8 in-person participants so far.
Excellent. And another some 40 online. So we are good. I hope you're all clear about the requirement of the inventory. And if there's an issue, please do put it up in the chat or raise your hand and we'll respond to you. There are only 9 viewers on the inventory, so I'm kind of nonplussed. How many of you are doing it? Tazeen, you said you had done it, so I see you there. but I don't see many others. Samia is joining now. Rauf Bhatt, Ghulam Murtaza, Shaista Jabeen, Muhammad Imran, Rehan, Aftab, Asia. These are the only 10 participants that are working on the inventory. We will, of course, have this list. And please note that this is an important component of your session. And the rest of the session will largely depend on discussion around it. So please make sure you do it.
So this is the only component we have to do in this session. And we will just be having follow-up discussion that what we have learned from this exercise. So please do it.
Yeah, I see only 10 online viewers right now, which is very sad because we have a lot more on Zoom. And they haven't viewed it.
So at the end of the discussion, there will be a test, and those who will qualify test, they will be given certificate.
Rauf Bhatt is saying, I do not have edit access to the document. That's surprising.
It's open to all. Anyone
Yes,
with the link can
can
access.
do it. I have other people saying, Muhammad Imran is also saying it's not editable for me. There must be on your Google Doc an option to edit. Please look it up. It must be at your end because quite a few people, Mubashir Mushtaq and some others. Mubashir, can you tell what is the reason some of you cannot edit it? You can download and edit. That is what Sidra is saying is one
Yes,
option.
This is how it is.
Yeah, I downloaded the document to do it. So same for me, Fariha. So I think you have to download the document and then work on it. So many are downloading it now and doing. Share the link again. It is on the in the chat. Yeah, there we go. Rubab is saying download is as a Word document, save it, and then work on it. Rubab, you have learned a lot, right? Imran, are you able to do it?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, thank you very much for doing your exercise. So could you please stop writing wherever you are? Now we will be doing it along the slides. You will be having more time to do and complete it. And let's start with what we are talking today about. It is 7 principles of good practice in undergrad education, and this is fundamentally it is teaching focused, it is learning focused, not much research focused. So this is about teaching and learning. So what is the history of this these 7 principles? There were two scholars, Chickering and Gamson. They did this research and they went through literature on teaching and learning. And the literature took from the past 50 years before 1987. They went through and thoroughly, rigorously, and they studied 50 years books and articles and other whatever people wrote and said about teaching and learning. And especially they were identifying the practices and policies and institutional conditions which support powerful and enduring learning. So powerful and enduring learning in universities, what are some relevant policies or practices or institutional condition? So this was their goal. So they done a great study. So it was brought to FC College, then later on by Dr. Peter Amakost, our rector. He introduced that, and he actually, if those who are here a few days back in the alumni session and their meeting, Dr. Peter was here, and in his recent speech, he was also referring the same 7 principles again, and putting more focus that the faculty, those who want to teach well, they must internalize and follow these guidelines and these 7 principles of good practice in undergrad education. So this is the background of this study, and this is the background of owning by FCC here. And we reinforce every year at this point of time, maybe in March, most of the time, that by CLT, then let's go through again that what is this research all about. So these are the 7 principles, and you have seen in the document, there is a summary of the study. But if I ask you that you have done some of the portion of your inventory, what are you good at? Any one of you can talk about which principle do you already apply and where do you think that you are good at which one number, if you just say the number or the name of the principle. Anybody, please?
I think what I learned from this is that I can work on the first part, student-faculty contact, because in general, I find people telling me I'm a little intimidating. So I guess this is a part I can focus on, work more on. And the rest, I think I'm good at.
And the rest all are your areas where you need some improvement?
No, I'm good at that. I think that I can focus more on the first part.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? If you just write in the chat box, if you just write, I'm good at a number.
Dr. Shaista says that student-faculty contact.
Okay. Weaker areas are areas where some people need improvement. You people, which principle do you already apply in your teaching? Or you feel that you are good at maybe prompt feedback, respect for diverse talent?
Sir Noman and Ms. Rana Rabab says high expectations.
Mhm.
Dr. Faria says number 1 is student-faculty contact.
Mhm.
Then we have Dr. Farah Rehan, good at student-faculty contact.
Mhm. Okay. Yes. Please.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Mohammed Rizwan and I'm from Computer Science Department from College section. In my point of view, the first 2 points, the student-faculty contact and cooperation among students, and the 4th one is prompt feedback are more essential.
And do you do that?
Yes, I do that.
Okay.
And I think these are more effective points.
Mhm. And if I request you to identify any area where you need more focus? 0.6. Okay, high expectations.
We have other online participants. Dr. Muhammad Imran says 3, 4, and 7. Good at 3, 4, and 7. Active learning, prompt feedback, and high expectations. Please rename your Techno Spark 5 Pro. Please rename so that we can know your name and the department. Ms. Tazeen Bukhari from the English department says that encourage participation. Ms. Shaista Jabeen again, prompt feedback.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you. How many heads of the department or chairpersons are there in the session? One here in person, online, how many?
Online, we have
Chairpersons? Two here,
I
I
saw
myself, three.
no, chairperson, speaker.
Sir, you need mic, sir?
For computer science, I have the
Okay,
department head.
okay. Thank you. Thank you. So let's get into the details of these principles. The first one is student-faculty contact. So it is very much important for interaction between students and faculty, for retention, for motivation, for scaffolding for the weaker students, and their emotional and social development. It is also important resource for the students who want to share their personal concerns or academic concerns with the faculty, that. So can you please identify here at FCC what are some relevant policies and procedures and guidelines which support actually this principle? Office hours. Okay, it is mandatory for all faculty members to post office hours. Okay, any other policy?
The number of students in the class, because they are less, so then there is a great contact between the student and the faculty.
Okay, student faculty ratio. What else? Any other?
Dr. Mubashir says advising.
Advising.
Dr. Shaista says advising. That's it. Anyone from the in-person participants?
Any other practices which support this principle at FCC? Because the research was about identifying procedures, policies, and principles and institutional conditions that actually guarantee long-lasting learning. So this is the first principle in focus, that student-faculty contact. So FC College puts a lot of emphasis on this principle, that there must be outside of class contact between faculty and students, and there should be healthy interaction.
Ms. Sana Bhatti from the mathematics department says co-curriculum activities. And then Ms. Rana Rubab says attendance maybe. Sana Bhatti says again character building classes. And Dr. Shaista says using Empower and Moodle frequently to communicate.
Okay. Now come to the inventory. The first principle is you have done, there are 10 statements, and now you can share which area is, what do you do actually, and how do you develop this interaction between you and your students, or what you need to do. Just share, please. What do you do? How do you develop this contact, or how do you encourage your students to show up in your office?
WhatsApp. Dr. Fariha and Sir Noman from the business department, both of them had written WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Okay.
Interaction through WhatsApp Facebook page for the Center for Learning Development.
So social media, it means some teachers, they use social media.
WhatsApp again, Dr. Muhammad Imran.
What else? From the inventory, if you would like to say that I do this number 7 or number 9 or number 3 from the inventory, this is my practice.
So number 6, I'm not good at learning names, but in each class I make an effort that I remember my names, or at least improve at that.
Yeah, this is very good practice, that teachers, they try to memorize the names of the students, and whenever you call students by their names, they feel good and they feel an affiliation with the faculty member and comfortable. What else?
I know my students by name by the end of the first 2 weeks of the term.
So this is again number 6. Any others? Any other practice?
I advise my students about their career opportunities in their major field quite often.
So you take, Dr. Atahurman says that he takes interest in helping students about their future planning, about their career building, then guiding them how to think about their future. Yeah.
For online participants, Dr. Shaista says that encourage them to do so in class as well as office hours are written in course outlines. So Rauf says that invite students to discuss their assignments and exam papers. Dr. Farhiya Yasmin says that identify weak students and personally ask them to visit office in office hours. Ms. Rana Rabab Durrani says the students' events. Ms. Tazeen Bukhari says 1, 3, 6, and 8. 1, 3, 6, and 8. Dr. Muhammad Mustafa says, in addition to the medium, it depends more on decreased height of wall of fear. Whatever medium you will be using, it will work if they can contact and ask without fear.
Great. So now why I asked that who is the head of the department here and there online, because these are very, very good 10 statements and you can use these statements in your annual evaluation. Even heads of the departments, when they write the evaluations of their faculty, they can pick some statements from here that this faculty member maintains a very healthy and good interaction with his or her students. And then a specific statement they can mention that he or she remembers the names of the students, or you can even use this type of statements. Teachers always ask me and the other experts that how to write our annual evaluation and that how good I was this year in teaching. So whenever you write about your teaching, you can take the benefit of these 7 principles. They are in behavioral terms. They are very much specific. They are about your teaching, different principles of your good practice. And these are the ready-made statements. You should not only use them to complete your annual evaluation, but you should also apply them practically and then put it on the paper that this is what I do. And this is the area where I need some improvement. So this is a very helpful document and training for both to improve and develop teaching skill, as well as learning how to manage annual performance evaluation. Well, thank you. Next, cooperation among students. And you see that this is a very good principle of good teaching, or wonderful, excellent practice when we create the conditions in the classroom or in the institution where students can work together with each other, and especially they can collaborate, they can work in a team or group. So again, please, how do you encourage cooperation among your students? What do you do? Now, again, please share from the inventory or from yourself that what do you do? And this is not interaction between you and your students, but among the students, between students.
Dr. Shaista Jabin says a number of group activities in class.
Group activities or group projects.
Number 2.
Number 2 is
Encourage my students to prepare together for classes or exams.
together. Okay.
Yes.
Learning communities are preparation, together preparation, or learning groups or learning communities. Some teachers create groups.
Yeah, I always encourage the students to prepare together for the classes and exams as well. But a part of this, I also encourage them to join some organizations like a dramatic club or, the societies in order to increase their communication skills, management and organizing skills and so on.
Good. When we come to the institutional policy or institutional conditions, we see that there are societies and clubs and students work there together. And this is the platform, or these are the platforms provided by the institution, by all, each and every department. They have that kind of student societies. This is also a great institutional condition and institutional policy. Yes.
Ms. Sanavati says that give them research work to go in a group.
Mhm.
And then Mr. Rao says by allowing students to perform labs in group assignments, role plays by Ms. Rubab. And then Dr. Muhammad Imran says all of my classes have groups during practical. Make projects together like we just had a psychon at college side, Ms. Sanavati. As well assignments and presentations, pair and share, dialogue writing from Ms. Rana
Mhm.
Rubab Durrani. And then first thing is to feel comfortable with each other through various activities and then enhance the student engagement with each other. Dr. Farah Rehan.
Great. Great. Well, by the end of this session, we will be identifying what are the core principles which everybody should apply in his or her teaching. Maybe you are not supposed to apply all the 7, but there are some core practices or core principles which every teacher is supposed to apply in the teaching. So we will be identifying those core principles. Mhm.
That can also be placed in this category, Uni 100
Mhm.
for this one.
Yeah, okay. University 100 is also a very good example of institutional strategy, that how they develop this student cooperation among them, because it is rigorous, especially freshman experience is a great experience for the students when they work together in different groups or in different styles. Yes, thank you. 3. So this is no, active learning. This is also very important and integral part of university education, especially undergrad education, that the teaching strategy or the teaching methodology, it must be student-centered, active learning, students' involvement in the learning process, and it is important for significant learning experience. This is the key thing, that active learning is important or essential for significant learning experience. And when we say that heuristic problem solving, and later on you will be giving answer to some question that which principle is applicable where. I mean, this active learning is applicable to what kind of situation, decision making or problem solving or significant learning experience. So you have to remember. So what do you do to apply this principle in your teaching? What is your best practice? What is your best way to involve your students in the learning process? So you can take the benefit of the inventory. Please share. Okay. So you say, I ask my students to present their work. Okay.
Rana Rabab says authentic learning, Venn diagrams, mind mapping, role plays, and simulations. Dr. Asia says class
presentation.
Yeah,
in
class presentations.
Mhm.
And then I ask my students to relate outside events or activities to the subjects covered in my courses. Miss Dr. Anna Muzammil.
Okay. So sometimes it is divergent and convergent practices. Okay. Anybody else? What is your best practice? Go ahead, please, Mike.
Yeah, one of the thing we practice is the presentations, but a part of this, in pharmacy, the labs, they have a huge role.
Mhm.
So I always encourage my students to perform the experiments, even if they want individually, not in the groups. So sometimes, the students, they want to do individual performance. So I always encourage them to perform individually as well.
Well, thank you. And Yes, go ahead.
Creating scenario-based questions and looking for solutions, Ms.
Mhm.
Maida Bajwa. And then posters and presentations to apply the knowledge to the practical life. Aftab Bashir from the School of Life Sciences.
Mhm.
Speech prompt and open discussion. Ask students question and give them marks for participation from the lecture. Work with them in labs. Class participation, case studies, video cases, real life examples. Ask questions and respond to my questions.
Well, thank you very much. And when we say that active learning, it is about significant learning experience. So, do you have any idea what is significant learning? It is. I can give the clue that when we say that it promotes significant learning. Why active learning? Because it promotes significant learning. What is significant learning? It is about two things. One is the class environment. And number two, the impact of the outcomes of the learning. So what do you understand by class environment? What kind of environment we have to create in the class for active learning or for significant learning? What kind of environment?
I think it must be interactive.
Interactive, okay. What else?
Every student can ask any question without any hesitation.
Okay.
The environment of the
It
class.
should be free and safe environment
Yes.
for the students, democratic environment. Okay. What else?
Intellectually stimulating.
Stimulating. Okay. Motivational. Mhm. Okay. Engaging. Yes. And they say that there should be. Okay. Thank you. And experts say, what do they say?
Equitable environment.
Mhm.
Sana Bhatti, Dr. Farah Rehan says creating curiosity among students.
Mhm.
One that promotes critical thinking. Ms. Maida Bajwa, encourage questioning. Ms. Sarnoman, Aftab Bashir Sahab says some students are good at background knowledge while others have weak background knowledge.
Mhm.
Expressing their views, interaction between students and teacher, and student to student interaction as well.
Right. So it means we have to create the condition or the policy or the procedure or the activity in the class where students, then we call it, this is active learning. The environment should be safe, open, democratic, engaging, and energetic and motivational. And what about the outcomes of the learning? Whatever they are doing in this class, what is the long lasting impact of that learning? Would you please say something that it is active learning in the class and the impact of this learning will be long lasting? How?
I think that it becomes part of their life in the practical life, part of their real.
Yeah, if the discussions are practical, problem solving based, decision making based, it is not just a fun all the time in the class, but it is pragmatic, it is practical, it is future oriented. Okay, then we can talk that it is active learning and it is actual learning about the future, and it has long lasting effect for the students, and they will be applying whatever they are learning inside the class. Great. Number 4, prompt feedback. Yeah. So this is an area where very many faculty members, they lack prompt feedback. They give feedback sometimes, but when the feedback is not needed by the students, especially for their improvement, ongoing learning, in the middle of the semester, in the beginning of the semester, at the right time, but it is really important and motivational strategy, and it is regarded highly valuable for the students' development, so that they should know that where they are lacking, what they are doing good, what they are supposed to improve with the course of time in this particular subject. So what do you do? So I would be happy if you discuss some of your strategies, that how do you give formative feedback or educative feedback to your students right away. Whenever there is some assignment or exam or some activity, what do you do? Which strategy do you apply, please? First three. Mhm. So in first, they say that I give quizzes and homework assignments and then feedback. You mark them immediately. Okay. Mhm. And, and you give them just marks or some comments as well? Marks and remarks. Both. And okay. And those who
And how they can improve themselves.
okay.
Yes, I mark them and underline them, their corrections and how they can improve.
And within a week,
Yeah.
and you return
And
examination.
especially in my point of view, the preparation in the classroom, especially classroom exercise, is very much important. At the same time, we can evaluate our students.
Good.
So this feedback is, I think, more effective.
Okay. What is? Yes, sir. Your way.
Thank you. I normally give the feedback within 1 second.
Within 1 second.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I use Moodle.
Okay. So even
they
then,
will-
if it is a long assignment, even
No,
then.
just the objective ones.
Okay.
Because I already give the feedback.
Or in 1 second, you give the response that I have received your assignment.
No, not that.
We can say that, and we should say that
Yeah.
received, well received, acknowledged.
No, it's like, for example, if they are attempting one question and they have, 4 options to select, one of them, it is selected. And once they select the wrong one, the feedback given at the end of the question, it will be shown up.
So if I put it that you say that I take the benefit of the advantage of the technology for quick feedback.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Online, what do they say?
Mohammed Saleh says the peer review and reviewing the peer review.
Okay.
So Aftab Bashir says that 1, 6, and 10. Then Miss Rubab says 1, 5, and 10. Dr. Faria Yasmin says written feedback. And then we have comments on the presentation in the class so that they can improve next time. Just after the quiz, while in class, immediate. Then in class, then in next class, return the papers. I give them the specific assessment objectives for particular task and redraft it to perfection. It's tedious but fruitful. Ms. Tazeen Bukhari. And we have then Dr. Shaista says the quizzes are on Moodle, so they are they get automatic feedback. So Mohammad Asghar says that actually feedback from students is feed forwarding for teacher.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for your comments and your participation and your sharing. We move to next. Number 5 is time on task. And this is a great challenge for the teachers that how to segment different activities of their course and giving them appropriate time. What happens actually in the classroom or in our teaching, especially at university level, when we give a month to the students for an assignment that this is due next month and this is 1 month time. So sometimes students, or most of the time students don't work and they just start working 3 days before the due date, 5 days before the due date. They do not consume the whole month. And maybe the reason is that they do not need the whole month for this assignment. Teachers believe that they need time and they don't consume time because they don't think that they need time. They can do it just in 2 days or 3 days or in a week, and we give them 6 weeks. So this is the challenge of this, and this is a great principle of effective teaching, that we have to make it sure that this is a very good practice of time management, and we allocate the right amount of time on a task, and we take care. and we develop tasks, and we allocate time consciously, highly consciously. So this picture says that quadrant number 2 is the policy for time management, resources management, creating a balance between the resource and the task, between the time and the assignment. Number 2 means the best policy is that students are comfortable to complete it without having any urgency. Okay, they have enough time to do the assignment or complete their maybe paper or research or whatever the activity is. So number 2 says that important not whenever we are in the style of doing our life every day, we are doing things which are important but not urgent. Okay, when we do not consume the right amount of time on a task, then actually time pushes us towards quadrant 1. It becomes urgent. And we see that students are always in urgency. And they say that something is due today, something is due today, but it was not due today. They were given a proper ample time. So how do you apply that your students, they consume the full time which you allocate to them? Is there any reinforcing policy? For example, you have given 2 months time and you reinforce it every 2 weeks or fortnightly, and then you develop their consciousness that I am just watching whether you have started your work or not. So what do you do, please, for this? Yes.
So this semester, what I'm doing is that I'm taking Monday, Wednesday, Friday, small work, and then I'm taking weekly assignments, urgency and importance. And in each class, I build on that. This class, we do, for example, read the reading. In the next class,
Mike, please. For the participants on.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So should I start or continue?
Yeah, restart.
So on Monday, for example, we do the reading. On Wednesday, we start working and deciding the topic. On Friday, we finalize it. If we have time, we peer review it. And on Monday, then again, they submit after a week. So that not only adds the urgency, but also the importance and keeps building on it instead of just giving the assignment and leaving it there. And I feel that's a lot of work for me because I have to do marking every week. But actually, my students are very happy about it, surprisingly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Activity, for example, if the student misses first activity or the third, then how do they make up?
And sometimes students say that you have not given us the right amount of time. Then what?
Yeah, so we decide, first of all, I made the course outline in the start and we had the whole class time to discuss that, agree on things. I changed the things that students told me in the very start. So the things we're applying for the rest of the semester. How I implement that is that with each passing day, if they are late, 1 grade point is deducted if it's 24 hours late. And after 7 days, if they have a genuine reason, for example, if it's just a slack, I don't accept it. And but if it is genuine reason, then they give an application and with that, and then I accept it without deduction.
Well, thank you very much for your input. Number 6 is high expectations. So how do you communicate your students that you have high standard in learning? That what do you do? Online, please. How do you communicate high expectations to your students? Do you give them warnings or motivations or elaborate your strategies? What do you do?
On the previous point, we have a comment from Dr. Anam that I asked the students to seek feedback before final submission and divide the assigned related tasks over days/week. I keep checking their work progress. Sometimes they asked
this.
Moving forward, for this, Dr. Saraftab Bashir says that number 3.
Number 3 is about high expectation.
Ms. Sidra says relative marking.
Yeah, I make clear my expectations orally and in writing at the beginning of the course.
Okay. Ms. Tazeen says 2 and 3.
Okay. And some What about some teachers? They lock the door after 5 or 10 minutes and they say that students are not allowed to enter into my class because I have high expectations of punctuality, responsibility. Students must be in the room on time. So do you agree?
I let them enter. I let them enter, but the attendance is not marked after 10 minutes.
Mhm.
So they,
Some teachers are strict with the deadlines, and some teachers, they all the times they give more flexibility and they keep on extending deadline. Okay, tomorrow, okay, next time. So what do you think? This is the principle. The principle says that you should have high expectations. You should not compromise on the principle. Okay, you should have high expectation and the discipline and the quality and raise the bar.
Ms. Tazeen says the doors are open, but they need to bear embarrassment.
Doors are open.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have Dr. Shaista. She says, I need to learn how to encourage students to be regular in the class. Maybe that is my high expectation. I allow them to sit in the class, but the attendance is not marked if they're late more than 10 minutes.
Mhm.
I like my students center, but I don't mark them present.
Thank you. Diversity is not an option. It is a must. It is God created. So in the class, there are students from different backgrounds with different diverse talents and energy and styles of learning. So how do you cater with this diversity? What do you do to satisfy all the students with different needs, with different potential, with different backgrounds? What do you do?
I think from the very basic, I try to create a safe space. So if students have an issue, I encourage them to come to me in person, let me know. So I make them comfortable and make it a part of my course so they don't miss on anything.
Mhm. Thank you. What else? Anybody else? Do you apply different teaching strategies and diverse teaching methods?
Ms. Maida Bajwa says that allowing equal participation and right to speak.
Mhm.
Dr. Shaista says, sometimes I see some students are very comfortable with the pace, but some struggle.
Mhm.
Miss Tazeen wants to say something as well.
Mhm. So what is the best strategy is you apply different teaching methods for different segments and components, and sometimes lecture methods, sometimes group discussions, sometimes maybe presentations, and in the same way different grading criteria for different people. Some students are good at examination, some are good at education, some are good at class participation, some in social activities. So you create the conditions and opportunities for the students.
Yes, Ms.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tazeen Bukhari from English department. Actually, diversity in my classroom, right? This is my second semester. In the first semester, there was, and I really felt it because there was an extremely inappropriate sexual remark that came from a student, which really which really alerted me. So regarding diversity, ethnicity, race, color, whatever, I have drawn really clear margins that they need to respect one another despite whatever. And in order to, to speak up promptly and with confidence, they need to have the right knowledge according to, like, they cannot, it's a very, very clear principle within my classroom. So in the second semester, it's much better, and I haven't never received at the moment any awkwardness. But respect is foremost, and tolerance for each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now it is test time, please. Test time. We have limited time now, but we have to test your knowledge now, please. So the first question is that when were 7 principles introduced?
I will Sorry to cut you out. I will quickly launch the polling for the online participants.
Uh-huh.
You're requested to please poll. Thank you.
You have to pass this examination for the certificate, please. You say B, D. It's D. Okay. Yeah. 87. 1987 is the correct answer. No? Yeah. Who developed these principles? Option. Procter and Gamble, shampoos and
It is C or D. That comes like Capsule or Gamble.
which one?
C.
C. Chickering and Gamson. Yeah. Professor Chickering and Professor Gamson. They done this research. These are very interesting questions. Who introduced these principles to FCC faculty? Which rector? All right. Peter R. McCost. You have got a very good memory. Good. What was the primary goal of this study? Higher order thinking skills, identifying good practices for lifelong learning, 21st century requirements, dealing with 21st century, or identifying the study ways. Which one?
B.
B. We have got very intelligent people. What is the expected outcome?
A.
Powerful and enduring learning. Great. What is the most effective principle for student motivation out of these 7? Which one? How to motivate students to apply which principle? All of these. There should be an option, all of these.
Most effective. A.
Between C and A, you are hanging between C and A. Okay. Here, for significant learning, which principle applies? This is significant learning in the center, you see. Which principle?
All of them.
Active learning. Okay. For significant learning, it's about the classroom environment. Okay. Here, which principle? This is the application of which principle? Prompt feedback. And when you give prompt feedback, this is the feeling of the student. If it is in positive, yes. No? Here. Which principle applies here? This is everyday decision making, complex decision making.
Everything.
No, which principle out of 7 principles? Prompt feedback, active learning, student faculty contact, student contact. Which one? Answer is not there. It should be in the mind.
Time and task.
Time and task for decision making.
Diverse talent.
Dr. Muhammad Imran says active learning.
Active learning. Good. Yeah. Here, this is heuristic problem solving. Heuristic problem solving means prompt decision, but it is still valid and good as it applies in the cricket. When the ball is coming 150 kilometers, okay, and the batsman has to decide immediately. So which principle? If you are to teach this habit to the students, how to make decisions quickly for the complex problems, then what would you do? Again, active learning. This is a very important book, Thinking Fast and Slow. Which principle? Daniel Kahneman. It's very important. People are usually either they are fast thinker or slow thinker. But we have to promote both kind of thinkings. Sometimes they have time to think slow, but people cannot think slow. Time and task. Good. This is cognition. Cognition means thinking about thinking. Which principle? It is written in the center, basically. This is active learning. What principle would you apply to this? Diversity, diverse teaching styles and diverse activities in the class. So respecting diversity or different multiple intelligences. What is the application of this? Student-teacher interaction. Good. And this one? Team building. Yeah, cooperation among the students. This is the application of that. And here? Timeline for a research. Time and task. These are 7 principles. So, well, thank you very much for your attention. It's 2 o'clock. Thank you. Dr. Sana.
Thank you, everyone.
I think if you have done the polling, thank you. It seems 35 out of 35 have responded. We'll close the polling. Hafiz Ghani, a very interactive session, and you really took along everybody and had everyone involved. Thank you all for being so responsive. And from the chat, it seems all of you have some or other activities that you are already implying for these best practices, but you need to know what these best practices are for your own ease and more development along the lines. So thank you so much. I hope those of you that were online had a cup of tea along with them and something to eat. Absolutely, we'll share the slides, Imran, and we'll share the chat hopefully with you as well. And definitely, and you have the
inventory as well. We'll share that.
We will share what as well?
The inventory, ma'am.
Yes, the inventory
Yeah.
and the PowerPoint. And thank you so much. There are 34 of you with us right now, and I see quite a few online participants. Goodbye. Oh, by the way, before you go, please remember we have Conversation Cafe before Ramzan. Join us for a cup of tea at 4 p.m. tomorrow at Lucas Cafe. We'll send you an invitation today to everybody on campus, and we'll have perhaps some music and some talk. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.